I'm here with Gabrielle from Loma Linda and Samantha from Indiana, and we are here at the Streams of Light mission trip to the Silicon Valley. And here it is on Tuesday night. We're packing great controversies in health magazines and all the rest. In the course of this project, we started having a discussion about LGBT, and both of these ladies said that the Lord had delivered them from that 1 year ago, 3 years ago. Tell me just a little bit about that. First, Samantha. Gabrielle. I'm sorry, Gabrielle. Gabrielle.
How far back should I go?
Just a little bit about how the family just wasn't working well, and how you got confused and how God brought you out of that.
My babysitter was a pedophile, and there was, a lot of alcoholism in my family, and my brother didn't take it well when my parents separated, and personally bullied me, and I didn't have a close male figure, and I think I felt more comfort from female figures, not close ones, but elsewhere, and just the trauma of, especially when I was 4, I mean, all I knew was what was done to me, and I didn't realize I carried that later in life, but also looking for the comfort that I had from a woman when I was younger, not sexual, but my, perception was so warped that when I finally gave myself to Christ, he removed this film, this false perception, and I got to see things how clearly for what they were, and such conviction that of everything I'd done. I mean, it was kind of as if it wasn't me the whole time, and I got to go back and see the movie and see as if I were a victim, but I know I wasn't, because I partook in so many things and led people personally down the wrong path. So I know I'm guilty, but to have that new perception and freedom and forgiveness and a better life and away from that trap is liberating.
Amen.
And I get to live.
Amen. And here you are going to hand out great Amen. And you lived in Loma Linda, and God providentially had somebody come to your door where you could learn. You'd never heard of Seventh-day Adventists until somebody came to your door while living in Loma Linda. So that's an amazing piece too. Oh, thank you. And that was Samantha and Gabrielle. Okay.
Gabrielle and Samantha.
Okay, Gabrielle. Okay, there you go. So tell us about your experience.
Well, I was kind of first introduced into I would say it all kind of started when I was introduced into sexuality back when I was 13, and it was something me and my best friend kind of explored a lot, but we never really considered LGB until I was 17, and we ended up forming a relationship, and she was a female, it was a woman, and we had a relationship for about 6 months, and our parents ended up finding out because I'm not going to get into it, but I was so mentally unstable at the time that I ended up going to a mental hospital, and I got out later that day, and she told her mom, who told my mom, who then kind of drove apart the whole relationship. And ever since then, I was very highly confused about my sexuality and my gender. I was I thought I was a lesbian at the time. I ended up becoming bisexual later on and becoming a non-binary he, she, they person. I ended up running away with a guy when I was out of high school, and then came back 2.5 years later. And that's when I first found out about Seventh-day Adventists through a YouTube channel called Bible Flock Box. I went to the church for a little bit and ended up did get baptized into the church, but not too long after that I ended up leaving because I thought, well, I knew everything. but sometime after that, I ended up going to a lot of bars and being around like a lot of men and women, and it was not very healthy time. It was like kind of like how they say like the term fast cars, fast money, fast women, fast men. Like that's kind of the way I lived until this time. I was living with a male at the time, and I was laying in bed and I was like thinking about like my purpose. I was like, this is just like I feel so unfulfilled in life. It's like there's got to be more to this. And well, something at the back of my head just said, you need to go back to church, you need to go back. And I was like, I don't really want to. And I kept putting this off for about a month until I was like, okay, it's Wednesday night. If they're having church, I'll go ahead and go and walk in and see what's going on. And if not, then I'll go ahead and head home. And of course, I go to church and people are having Wednesday night. And I go in and everybody recognizes me and they welcome me back. And that was about a year ago, and now I'm here.
Amen. On a mission trip. What would either of you say to somebody who is involved in that lifestyle now and thinking, this is the way I am, I'm stuck this way? What would you say to them?
I had to be at my lowest vulnerability. I had to be personally at my most vulnerable moment where nothing was working out. I was going in circles, I realized I was doing everything in vain and everything that all I knew. And I had to humble myself like a child. Like I didn't know what I was doing. I don't know how to go further, but I knew I wasn't happy. I mean, I was becoming like, I was gonna kill myself, and
You said you even got to the place where you're about to kick a chair out and hang yourself, but when the Lord gave you a special experience.
yeah. So I tell myself that symbolically. Maybe I was just trying to be like, I'm gonna do it, because I mean, when He filled my heart with this warm, fuzzy feeling, I was like, I had never experienced anything like that. And so I got down and I said, God, I'm going to give myself to you. I'm going to commit myself. I'm going to try my best this time. Because I always believed He was there. I just never, and I was always zealous for others who had that relationship with Him. But I never thought I could. And, He reached me in a miraculous way that is a whole other testimony in itself. But a way that I can understand. So I encourage you to ask, God, help me reach me in a way that I can understand. And all they have to do is ask.
Amen.
And He'll free you.
Amen. Amen. What would you say to somebody who's in that situation?
Well, I mean, considering the lifestyle I had, like I said, it was very I seemed like I had everything that I could ever want, but it's just like that's the side that everyone wants to look at and say, oh, well, look at this, but they're not looking at the other side. During that time, I was very much struggling with depression, anxiety. I was a very angry person. I was very demanding. I was a very selfish person at the time, and it just wasn't it's not really something that people look at when they look at the LGBT. They're just like, oh, well, they're having a good time, they're happy, when deep down you're really not. You always wake up feeling like something's missing from your life. And when I came back to the church, the first study I did was on sexuality, and the Bible makes it very clear that it's male and female, from birth, male and female, and then male and female relationships.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for letting the Lord reach into your heart and change your lives, and for coming on this mission trip to pass out great controversies in health magazines in the Silicon Valley. God's going to lead you to people who are just like you used to be and use you to make a difference.